see you. All right, Brian, can you tell us a little bit why you're visiting us today?
Well, I'm returning again because I'm a little bit worried about my schooling. I feel like I'm behind in my activities and homework. I just don't catch on to things very quickly. Other students just seem to pass me up, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Okay. Have you had issues focusing while in class?
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. How would you explain how you interact with your peers while at school?
I see them in class. At home, I just stay with my family. It's okay.
All right. Have you experienced any seizures lately since the last time you've been in?
No, not really.
Okay. Thank you, Brian, for answering those questions. The last time you were in, we ran some tests, and we took those tests to a genetic level, and what we came up with was in your X chromosomes, we found that there is a genetic mutation that occurred in your body, and that's called Fragile X syndrome. And I'd love to explain some of those things to you so you know what's going on in your own body. A couple of those things, like Margaret asked, she asked if you were having seizures. Commonly, seizures are common in about 15% of people with Fragile X syndrome. And then there's also some other characteristics of people that have this. Like you mentioned, you have trouble focusing in school. Most kids with this Fragile X syndrome have slight autism, that they experience like low forms of autism, as well as ADD, which is attention deficit disorder. And then also some physical characteristics are here. This is a picture of your body. Large ears can be characteristics, a long face, low muscle tone, flexible joints, large testicles, and then also flat feet. So those are some characteristics that can be found in people with Fragile X syndrome.
Do I have to have all of those?
No, you don't have to have all of them, just some or most of these characteristics appear in people, as well as the seizures and other things that may be associated with it. But what I'd love to do with you now, Margaret and I, we'd love to take a deeper look inside of your body at the cells and the genetics into it. So we're going to do that, and we're actually going to drop you off with Mr. Nuss, and he's going to explain a little to you about that. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And we're going to go in and explore your cells. We're in your brain, so we're going to enter through your ear.
All right, Brian, let's take a look in your ear.
Shoo!
Oh, well, hello there, Brian. Welcome to your brain. As you can see here, these are all the parts of your brain, and your brain is very large.
Oh, yes it is.
So, why don't we take a little tour?
Dun 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 dun.
What do we have here?
It looks like a cell.
That's right, Brian. That's a cell. And within that cell is a chromosome. Within the chromosome is your DNA. DNA produces genes, and the genes produce genetic coding. Genetic coding normally produces the CGG code 50 to 200 times. But when we're talking about Fragile X, it produces the CGG code 200 or more times.
So my cells are doing that right now?
That's correct.
Okay.
So the Fragile X gene that's produced when it produces a CGG code 200 or more times is known as the Fragile X mental retardation 1 gene, or in other words, the FMR1 gene. Here you go, Brian. Take this X. This X represents what I've just taught you today, and it represents the Fragile X syndrome. This way you can take this X to your friends and family, and you can explain to them what Fragile X syndrome means.
Well, thank you, Dr. Nuss.
No problem.
Bye.
See you later.
All right, Brian, how's the trip through your brain?
It was a lot of
Us taught me a lot about Fragile X and gave me this X of knowledge to prove how it went.
Cool. Brian, do you have any last minute questions for Dr. Davidson or myself about Fragile X?
Well, now that I know I have Fragile X syndrome, what do I do in school to help myself concentrate?
Well, your teachers can definitely work with you on some things, and then also if it helps to go see a school psychologist or something like that, I'm sure they can help, but your teachers will definitely give you accommodations to help you in the classroom.
Cool.
Yeah.